Good afternoon, students. In the previous class, due to some technical issues, the video didn't get recorded, even though I have been telling the session, I was conducting the session, but video got stopped. So today, again, we will start with the same topic. We were discussing budget line and budget set. So we know what is budget line. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. So budget line means it is the line where it is a set of all the bundles where the cost of the bundles is equals to the income of the consumer. If we have a bundle and this is income of the consumer, the cost of this bundle, if it is x, then it should be equal to income of the consumer. If this is the case, and whatever the bundles we will get, which is equal to the income of the consumer, then we'll when we join that point, we will say that as a budget line. And budget set is set of all the bundles which is available in the market for the consumer. So we already discussed that, and in today's session we are going to discuss about budget line and what are the few other topics to be known in this budget line. In budget line, we have a concept called price ratio. And the slope of the budget line. So in today's class, in budget line, how to understand this price ratio and how the slope of budget line looks like. We have one derivation, we will discuss that also in this today's session. So suppose in the syllabus, in the chapter, they have taken few examples while discussing, for example, diminishing marginal rate of substitution. We have discussed this topic, diminishing marginal law of diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Correct? If we see the examples given there, it is quantity, banana and mango. They have taken that. This is a bundle. A bundle, B bundle, C bundle, D bundle. And the quantity of banana is 1, here it is 2, and 3, and 4. And here the quantity of mango is 15, 12, 10, and 9. This is how the numbers. And the law of diminishing marginal rate of substitution says that rate here, to get one extra banana, how much he has to forego with the quantity of mango. So to get one extra banana here, he has to forego 3 mangoes. The ratio is 3:1. Here he has to forego 2 mangoes for 1 banana. Here again 1 mango for 1 banana. The law says this marginal rate of substitution from 3 to 1, it will reduce. This ratio will start diminishing when we increase the number of number of bananas. So I didn't find it realistic. Do we think the 3 bananas for 1 banana we are for giving 3 mangoes, correct? So 1 banana extra चाहिए तो हमें 3 mangoes खोना पड़ेगा, correct? So in the practical market situation that is not the case, correct? But still it means that if 1 mango's price is 5, then banana price is 15. Something like that. The banana price is higher than mango's price here. Correct? So that doesn't look realistic. Still, we will go with the same mangoes and bananas in our today's discussion. Think that these are just assumptions. Okay? We are assuming few things while discussing the concept. That's why don't literally go with the price and the quantity of the commodity. Just we will assume this as an example. So why I say this here? Because in today's class I am going to take the example of the same commodities, and the same is considered in the book as well. So I am going to mention few prices here. That's why I said these are assumptions. Don't literally go by the prices. So to understand this price concept, price ratio, we will assume these things. The income of the consumer is 60 rupees. Okay, and we have two products. Bundle includes, this is bundle, and bundle includes banana and mangoes. Right? And this income, this mango I will write in small letter, and this income is capital letter. Okay, you will represent income with this M. And banana, the price of the banana is rupees, that we call it as P1. That is rupees 10. Okay. And mango, the price here we will consider it as P2. The price of the mango is 5. Fine. Now, knowing the income of the consumer, the price of the banana and price of the mango, it is given here. Now we will try to draw a budget line. This is x-axis, we will consider bananas, and y-axis we will consider mangoes. That I will write in a small letter. Okay. Now, as we know, he has 60 rupees. If he spends entire his income to buy these bananas, and what is the quantity he can buy? Suppose the price of the banana is 10 and income here he has 60 rupees. Correct? So if he wants to spend entire his income to buy the banana, then what is the quantity he will get? The quantity is the income, that is 60 divided by the banana price. Correct? 10 ones are 10, 6 quantities. So here, if he spends entire his income, he will get 6 banana. So this is one bundle where he is getting 6 bananas and 0 mangoes. Correct? We will call it as horizontal intercept. This quantity we will get by this m divided by p1. M divided by p1. This is m, as you know, this is p1, price of the banana. So m divided by p1 will give us the quantity. So we will call it as horizontal intercept. The point here, what we got, it is horizontal intercept, where he is spending entire money on buying bananas. If suppose he spends entire money on buying mangoes, then what is the intercept? We will get quantity Q1, let's say this is Q2, M divided by P2. So M is 60, his income, the price of the mango, that is P2, the price we know that is 5 rupees. Correct? 5 ones are right, 12. So 12 is the quantity. So 12 is the quantity, he will get 12 mangoes he will get if he spends entire money on mangoes. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So this point here, he will get 0 bananas and 12 mangoes. This point, the intercept we call it as the vertical intercept. M by P2, this gives us the vertical intercept. We'll call it as vertical intercept, and this is horizontal intercept, where he is spending all his money on one particular product. Now, so this is one bundle and this is one bundle. If we join this, we will get a straight line. That line we will call it as a budget line. Correct? And what are the bundles we will get here? Those comes on budget line only if the cost of the bundle is equal to his income. Fine. This is straight line, okay? So as we know here, in a bundle we have banana and mango. The price of the cost of the banana and cost of the mango, if both are equal to income, then this bundles comes on this line. Correct? Now, the equation I will write here, price of the banana and quantity of the banana plus price of the mango into the quantity of mango, the total is equal to the income of the consumer. Now, suppose वो पूरा पैसा बनाना खरीदने के लिए खर्च किया, बनाना खाया, बोर होने लगा उसको, he didn't feel good, पूरा हमेशा बनाना ही खाना खाते रहना है, नहीं मैं और कुछ ट्राई करूंगा, इसके लिए क्या किया, अब वो पूरा का पूरा पैसा मैंगोस खरीदा और मैंगोस खा लिया, बनाना ऐड नहीं किया, तो he had all those mangoes, तब भी उसको अच्छा नहीं लगा, वो सिर्फ बनाना ही खाना ही अच्छा नहीं लगता है, पूरा मैंगो खाना भी अच्छा नहीं लगता है, क्या करूंगा मैं, I'll change this bundle from 0 bananas to I'll add 1 banana. ठीक है, मैं इसमें इस बनाना सिर्फ मैंगोस है, वो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, इसलिए मैं एक बनाना को ऐड करके देखता हूँ। क्योंकि मेरा बजट है 60 रुपीज, तो इसमें अगर मैं एक बनाना को ऐड किया तो हाउ मच आई हैव टू फोरगो विद मैंगो। तो substituting bananas for mangoes at what rate? Correct? That is the question mark. How many mangoes I have to forgo? What is the quantity here to match with this income? M. Now, how we will find out that? एक बनाना खरीदने के लिए उसको क्या करना पड़ेगा? He is spending entire money on mangoes, right? So उसमें से he has to reduce the price of the banana, correct? To get one banana, he has to reduce the price of the banana, the spending in his total spending. If he is spending 60 rupees entirely on this mango, पूरा 60 रुपीज में उसको एक बनाना ऐड करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा? ये 60 रुपीज में एक बनाना का प्राइस जो है ना कितना है? 10 रुपीज। 10 रुपीज इसमें से कम खर्च करना पड़ेगा उसको। तो 60 पूरा मैंगो में खर्च कर रहा है, तो इसमें एक बनाना का जो प्राइस है 10 रुपीज, उतना अमाउंट इसमें कम खर्च करना पड़ेगा। तो इसलिए कितना होगा? 60 माइनस 10, दैट इज 50 रुपीज, करेक्ट? So he has to spend 50 rupees on this. 50 rupees he has to spend on mangoes to get one additional banana. Correct? So what is the quantity he will get if he spends 50 rupees on mangoes? Though now he has 50 rupees and price of the mango is 5. 5 ones are 5 tens are. So 10 mangoes he will get. Correct? That the new bundle looks like this: one banana, 10 mangoes. From 12 mangoes, 0 banana and 12 mangoes. From 12 mangoes, he reduced that to 2, and he is now getting 10 mangoes, 1 banana. Correct? तो इसके लिए वो क्या किया? He has to reduce by the price of banana. करेक्ट? तो एक बनाना के लिए उसको बनाना का क्या प्राइस है उतना इसमें कम किए तो वो बनाना ऐड कर सकता है। करेक्ट? तो दैट्स व्हाई what we can say here is how we can put it in the price ratio. Suppose this is, he has to reduce this price of the banana divided by P2. Then whatever the quantity he is getting, that much he has to forego. Whatever quantity he is getting, that much quantity he has to reduce from the other product. Now we will cross check this whether it is correct or not. So what is the price of the banana? That is 10 rupees, and price of the mango is 5 rupees. 5 ones are 5 twos are. So 2 is the quantity. 2 is the quantity he has to reduce from this mango. Correct? It means that this is the rate he has to reduce. This is the rate of the quantity he has to reduce to get one additional banana. This is always per unit. Per unit. Okay? So I'll explain. To get per unit means one additional banana, how much, what is the rate he has to reduce here. The rate at which he has to substitute bananas for mango. The rate he has to substitute bananas for mango is P1 by P2. Correct? So P1 is 10, P2 is 5. This is quantity. He has to reduce the mangoes at this rate, and this is the quantity. So how we can write that here? The consumer can substitute bananas for mangoes at the rate P1 by P2. So this is what we have discussed. What do you mean by price ratio? It is the ratio at which the consumer can substitute bananas for mangoes at this rate. This rate, the quantity is defined using price, correct? So what is the quantity he needs to substitute? It is defined using the price. That's why we call it as price ratio. Again, as we say, I will repeat the same example. With this income, he is getting 0 banana and 12 mango. If he wants to, this is per unit addition. Per unit addition. So, per unit of banana, if you want to add, how much he has to forego? What is the rate? He has to substitute. What is the rate? This is the rate. He has to substitute bananas for mangoes. This is the rate. Here he has to substitute for one banana. So now what is the quantity here? He has to substitute from 12 to how much? That quantity of substitution is given by this. This is the price rate. The price ratio. In this rate, he has to substitute. What is the price of the banana? That we have taken 10, and price of the mango is 5. So 5 and 5 to the 2. This is the quantity. This is the rate he has to substitute here. From 12 to, if you reduce 2 here, what is the rate he can substitute bananas for mangoes? So we can say P1 by P2 is the rate. So we need this, I'll keep it here. Now we have this derivation here. We'll find out that so we were discussing this 0 bananas, 12 mangoes. So to substitute banana one quantity, then what is the quantity he has to reduce, correct? We need to find out. We know already 12 mangoes he has. So what is the quantity he has to forego? What is the quantity he has to forego? How much he has to reduce? So that quantity, we mentioned this as quantity of banana we will mention as x1, correct? Here P1 is price of banana, x1 is quantity of banana, and P2 is price of mango, and x2 is quantity of mango. So quantity of banana is x1, quantity of mango is x2. Now this is P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to m, correct? So if this bundle cost equals to his income, then this comes under these bundles comes on this budget line. Now if he replaces from 0 to 1, what do you mean by that? We have we'll get an equation here for this change. For this change, I am writing the equation. Okay. So P1 price will remain same, and x1 from 0 to he is changing here. x1 0 will keep that here x1 plus change here. That change we can denote by delta x1. Correct? This is the change in the quantity he is doing here. Plus price same. We are changing only the quantity x2 plus what is the change he is doing here. 12 is there. 12 is there. In this, how much he is doing the changes? That changes we will write here. x2 change in the quantity. That will give us the total income. So here price of the banana, quantity of the banana plus the change. What is the change he is doing here with the banana? And price of the mango, quantity of the mango plus change in the quantity of mango. That should be equal to his income. Now we know this, I will give it as 1, this as 2. Right? Now when we know this is income of the consumer, this is also income of the consumer, both are same. Right? It means that this, when this is equal to this and this equation is equal to m, it also means that this is equal to this. Correct? So now I put that here. P1 x1 delta x1 plus p2 x2 plus change in the quantity of mango, which is equal to this now. Because this is also m, this is also m, that means that this is equal to this. So p1 x1 plus p2 x2. Now what we need here, we need the change in the quantity of mango, that is delta x2. How much he is reducing, what is the change in the quantity of mango he has to do. We need actually this one, delta x2, correct? To find out that how we can arrive to this with the help of this given data or points. Now what I do, P1 in bracket we have x1 plus change in the quantity of banana. I'll multiply price with to these quantities. I'll get P1 x1 plus P1 delta x1. So now we have plus here with the same price to price of the mango. I will multiply with these quantities P2 x2 plus P2 delta x2. Correct? Now equal, I am putting the same P1 x1 plus P2 x2. Now I need this, I need to find out this. So keeping this left side, I take all these things to the right. P2 delta x2, here it is P1 x1 plus P2 x2. So what I have done, I kept only this to my left, and what is there in right, I have mentioned the same. So I want this to come to my right. When I do that from left to right, having this equation equal, then all these signs will change from plus to minus. Plus P1 x1, if nothing is there, it means that plus, correct? So plus P1 x1 will become minus P1 x1 plus P1 change in the quantity minus P1 delta x1 plus P2 x2, it is now minus P2 x2. And rest of the thing I kept here. So we have this now. Now if you see P1 x1 plus is here minus P1 x1. These two things will get substituted. P2 x2 and we have minus P2 x2. Now this is these two gone. These two gone. Now only left with minus P1 delta x1 and P2 delta x2. Correct? Now I don't want the price also. I want to find out only quantity. That delta x2 is equal to minus p1 by p2 to delta x1. Okay, this is the equation we have now. Change in the quantity, how much he has to do in mango. X2 is quantity of mango. The change in the quantity of mango is the price ratio into quantity. The price ratio into quantity of banana, right? X1. The change in the quantity, right? Change in the quantity of banana. Now I'll take this example here. Here, change is, as I said, per unit change. I'll put all these numbers here. Then delta x2 is equal to price of the banana p1 minus sign is there minus the price of the banana is 10 and price of the mango it is 5 into the change in the quantity of mango x1. The change here is from 0 to 1. If you again changes from 1 to 2, the change here is 1 addition. That's why I said this is always per unit change. So this change in the quantity always remains same 1. Change from 0 to 1 it is 1. From 1 to 2 again change here is 1 only. So that I'll take as 1. Now if you see 5 1 are 5 2 are. So 2 into 1 is 2. Minus is here minus 2. So what is the quantity has to reduce of mango? The change in the quantity of mango is minus 2. Correct? Now we have change in the quantity of mango is minus 2. Now we will put that. So 12 he has. Now he has to change the quantity of mango by 2. 12 minus 2 is 10. So this is the quantity he will get now. So that is true. We already cross-checked this. The price of the banana is 10. So this is 10 rupees plus price of the mango is 5. The quantity is 10 here. 10 into 5 is 50 rupees. The total is 60 rupees. That equals to his income. Correct? So now we have this equation, derivation. So this we call it a derivation of slope of the budget line. So this is budget line, we know, correct? This is the equation of budget line. Then how we can derive this budget line when we want to change the quantity? This we can derive this way. I'll repeat this again. This is the equation of budget line. Price and quantity of good 1 and price and quantity of good 2 is equal to, sum of these two equal to the total income. Because this is on budget line. The bundles are on budget line. So we get this equation equal to M. Now when you want to change that, the quantity, if you want to change that, then P1, X1 he is changing now from 0 to 1. Then we can keep that here. X1, see, it gives me same only. Okay, now I'll put that here. Price is 10, X1 is 0, plus change in the quantity, that change in the X1 is 1. Okay, plus price of the mango is 5 and X2 is 12 here. Plus, what is the change in the quantity he wants to do? That is delta x2 is minus 2, right? I'll write that minus 2 here. Now that should be equal to 60, correct? Now if you see this, 10, 0 plus 1 is 1 plus 5, 12 plus into minus minus. This is 12 and we have plus here. Bracket, what is the quantity is changing? Minus 2. So plus into minus, we will get minus and 2 here. So 10 into 1, this is 10 plus 12 minus 2 is 10, correct? Here it is 10. So what is the price here of mango? 5. 5 into 10 is 50. Then it gives us 60 rupees income of the consumer. So this is how we can derive this equation. So quantity, so that is why we need to keep this x1 same here. P1, x1 we are keeping it same because we are adding that, we are considering that also. X1 plus change in the quantity, that is 1 here, plus price of the second good, P2 to x2. We are taking this x2, 12, and then to that we are adding the change here. What is the change in the quantity he is doing that? That's why x2 we have to mention here, x2 plus change in the quantity of mango. That we are specifying with delta x2. It should be equal to m. So when m both are equal, then this is equal to this. That I have written here. So this P1 x1 plus delta x1 plus P2 x2 plus delta x2 is equal to P1 plus x1 plus P2 x2. Now I need this change in the quantity. So keeping this, I will take all the other points to my right. So if we do that, P2 change in the quantity of the mango equals to this one minus this. So when we take out all those things, only the price of the banana and quantity change in the quantity of banana we will receive. We will get that the minus T1 delta x1. So I want only change in the quantity I wanted to know. That's why I'll keep that change in quantity of mango. What I wanted to do equals to price ratio P1 divided by P2 and change in the quantity of banana. That if we take an example and put here, we will get the answer. That quantity. This is what we call the derivation of slope of the budget line. This is the derivation we have here. Okay, so now what we understood today here is the price ratio. Price ratio means at what rate he wants to substitute bananas for mango. What is the rate? At what rate he is substituting bananas for mangoes? The rate he is substituting here is P1 divided by P2. This is the rate he is substituting banana for mangoes. In our example, what is the rate? The price 10 by 5, it is 2. So this is the rate he is substituting bananas for mangoes. If one banana, he has to substitute banana for 2 mangoes equal to 10. So this is we call as price ratio, and this is the derivation. How we can get that? Change in the quantity of second rule. So don't get messed up. Just go by these numbers. Have a clear picture of these things. Write it down and try. We know this equation, and if we wanted to change, then how much he can change? How much he can substitute? This is a simple equation we have. Don't get confused with all these things. We know this, and just in this quantity, what is the change we are doing? We will mention that extra. Delta x1 here, delta x2. The changes we are mentioning here. If we have this equation together, then we will get this change in the quantity of mango. The simple mathematical calculations. So practice many times. You will come to understand this derivation. You can write on your own by practicing more time. Now, this is about budget line. So in budget line, how we can derive this equation, how we can find out the quantity and all. Then the few topics on budget set we have that we will look after this. As I said, this we will call it as horizontal intercept, and this M1 by P2 we will call it as vertical intercept, where he is spending entire money on one particular product. Okay, now we have one concept in budget set. Changes in budget set. Changes in budget set. Till now, what we discussed is related to budget line, and now in budget set we have few concepts that we will discuss in the next class. But what are those things? I will tell you in brief, and then in tomorrow's class we can discuss in detail. What are the changes in budget set? Budget set, as you know, this is the budget x2, correct? So, and we know this equation also, p1 x1 plus p2 x2 is equal to his income. So changes in the budget set is all the bundles what we have. Can we change this? How we can change that? By increasing or decreasing his income. If we have, with considering his income is 60, we have this set of bundles, correct? If we increase his income to 80, then what is the budget set you will get? So that is the change we can do here by increasing his income, or by decreasing. If from 60 to 40, if the income decreases, then what is the set of bundles you will get? That is one change. One change we can do and get the bundle, different bundles. What are the bundles you will get by changing the income of the consumer? That is one change we can do and find out the bundles. And second thing is we can change the price of the one good. If it is 10 rupees, with this given price we have set of bundles, correct? If the price is changed from 10, if it is increased to 12, then what are the bundles we get? That one scenario we can look into. And if the price decreases, then what is the line we will get? If price increases, then how the budget line looks like, and if price increases, then how this budget line looks like. So what we are doing, we are changing in his income and we are changing in his price of a good in this bundle. So if we do that, if we changes these things, then how this budget set looks like and what are the bundles we will get. That is the concept. We will check that in the next class. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.